Hello Internet and welcome to Who Cares, where we're going to discuss and debate the Doctor on her adventures through space and time.
So, if you like this episode, the odds that you like Lilo and Stitch are very high.
Welcome back to Who Cares.
His butt was so cute!
As we said, today we're tackling the Tsuranga Conundrum. I believe the T is silent. In this episode, the Doctor and her friends are on a junk planet of some sort somewhere, looking for the TARDIS, probably, or something.
They were looking for... They mentioned it. It was technobabble that didn't matter.
Okay.
They find a sonic mine, and then their organs get scrambled.
Yeah.
So technically they all perish for a moment.
Don't worry, the Space Red Cross was there, I guess. Apparently,
they were nearby.
They were cleaning up the area because I guess they did a little bit of world building there in the 67th century, I think.
Yeah.
They said
you can't be the 69th century. Too many jokes.
There's a war or something going on, and the mine was left over from the war, and they're around kind of helping out and stuff.
Yeah. And by the way, the premise not bad. I kind of like the idea that mortal peril here in real life is kind of inconvenient there.
Sure, I would just this episode, before we talk about it as a whole, I'm just gonna say how I would describe it is strikingly average. It's like it's the LaCroix of Doctor Who Base Under Siege episodes.
Oh, really? LaCroix?
You get sort of it's like LaCroix as opposed to like something that actually is flavored as something. You know what I mean?
I guess.
How they say like LaCroix is like drinking water while someone talks about fruit near you.
Yeah.
This is like
a
Doctor Who episode where someone talks about a more interesting idea for a Base Under Siege episode near it. It gestures in all the directions that should make this episode interesting, but never gets it to completion. You know what I mean? None of the thoughts are followed through in a way that is satisfying enough for me to really enjoy them. The side characters, there were certainly seeds of a story there, but like it wasn't enough for me to get invested in them, and the acting wasn't like high enough caliber to be like, oh yeah, I'm attached based on this performance. It was just the Doctor and friends get on the ship, a thing breaks into the ship, it's Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Sort of pretty much the same thing, yeah.
Almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the Doctor figures out problems that, honestly, the Doctor Who aha moment in this one I thought was pretty weak, considering the aha moment is it eats energy. It was established earlier, it eats all inorganic matter.
Sure.
That was told to us as the audience. At that point, as an audience, I was like, oh, it's gonna eat the ship. It's not evil, it just wants to eat the ship.
Yeah.
But they treat that like an aha moment at the end, like the Doctor's like, it doesn't want to kill anyone, it just wants energy. We're a ship, we're full of energy. Like, yeah, that was...
Yeah.
That's not a twist.
It seemed pretty obvious immediately. There's some stuff I liked about this episode, for sure. I think the alien design, although very Stitch-like, looked good.
Sure.
I didn't think it, it was clearly CG, but it didn't, stick out and be gross.
The thing I would compare it to the most is the adipose, remember, during
Tenets?
Yes,
that's exactly what I thought when I saw it the first time, is adipose. I liked, again, we're very character-focused, so, all the character building, I consistently enjoy that.
The thing was, Yaz had nothing to do in this episode except the one scene that was kind of funny where she punts the thing. That's pretty funny.
That made me laugh because it was kind of absurd.
But she's not, doing anything that informs
next
her
episode,
character.
she is, of course.
It seems like her episode, basically, next episode, which is good.
I think when you have 3 companions, someone's going to get left behind pretty often. It just seems that Yaz is more often left out.
See,
to be fair, last episode she was featured heavily, and the other 2 weren't as much.
See, I feel like if they were gonna have Yaz be this sort of backseat to the Graham Ryan stuff, which even in this episode,
don't take her on every adventure.
Yeah, either don't take her on every adventure, or put the episode where she is up front, closer to the beginning of the season. We're already halfway through. This is the midpoint of the season.
Yeah,
that should have been in the.
Last time we visited her family, so I mean she was featured. It was just we were meeting the family, so it didn't feel like Yaz-centric. It felt like Yaz is life-centric. Does that make sense?
Fair enough,
Yeah.
I guess. That to me was more, I know it was Yaz-centric, but mostly to me that felt like that was there because we had already know Graham, and Graham's wife is already dead.
I think that's probably the case.
So.
Yeah, but I think the next one's going to be very, very focused. But I agree. I don't think she had a lot to do in this episode. And that's the problem with juggling 3 companions. And I like their dynamic, but for some reason she is kind of tertiary. She's a satellite around these 4.
Yep.
Or
very
these
much
3.
So. Yeah. And I don't understand why. If they were gonna give her anything, it seems like often, it's like, let's split up, gang. It'll be Ryan, Graham, Yaz, the Doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe have the Doctor and Yaz form more of a camaraderie than with the other 2. Like, I'm not saying they won't all be friends, but I'm saying sometimes maybe she picks Yaz and they have more interesting conversations and they get to know each other and she gets to know the Doctor better.
They have paired off several times. It's just we don't sit with it as long as we do with Graham and Ryan. And I get we have very compelling stuff with Graham and Ryan. Still, they're like at this point, I think the animosity has sort of melted away, and now they're kind of learning to be, I don't know, semi-parent, semi-grandson-y.
Yeah.
And so there's it's more of a it's a very positive experience. Like they're doulas in this one, which is funny.
For a pregnant guy.
By the way, I like the pregnant guy thing, and I like the jokes about it, and for some reason it didn't feel overdone. It went from comedy bit to like parenting is a thing.
It took me by surprise that by the end I feel like they wanted us to actually feel for that guy and keep it his kid.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I think it's because we're kind of not the type of people that are like, yeah, kids. So I think maybe we're skewing that message a little bit.
I guess, but it was just like you used this guy literally as a visual gag. That's how you introduced him. What are you in for? Boop! Pregnant man. Haha! Joke.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I don't know.
You set it up as a joke. You can't have us then by the end have a satisfying, like, emotional yes. Keep the man-child you had, dude.
I do agree that setting it up as a joke and then trying to make the payoff, like, serious is weird. I think if they... I don't know.
And
they tried to do it justice. They tried, and then I think the problem is they finished it off with that avocado joke.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, like the different like codes for danger were like
chalice.
Yeah, and the other one was like cream puff or some shit.
That's actually something that's a callback.
Is it?
I forget where it was, but I know I've heard in Doctor Who chalice be used as like a labeling device before.
Yeah.
So they've established in the future labeling is sort of. I guess it seems arbitrary. I'd imagine there's a reason, but
it wasn't avocado toast, was it?
No,
it was avocado like peach. Right?
Avocado peach was what they wanted to call.
And
avocado pear was
avocado pear. Okay, so I have no idea other than it's making fun of how conventional we get with our naming.
Maybe.
Is that the joke? But because of the way it was delivered, it was like, I don't know, you had a couple things bouncing around there, and it wasn't the tightest joke. But that said, I think when it got serious in the middle, not the payoff, the middle, I think they did a pretty good job with the whole discussion about parenting and it reflected on Ryan's experience. And
I think when it finally got down to him popping the kid out and they cut him open and he was holding the baby, it was like this started as a visual gag. It still kind of just makes me laugh.
I think maybe omit the birth.
Maybe,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's just a pregnant guy. My water's breaking, or my fluids are leaking, or whatever.
His internal fluids had broken.
Yeah.
He said.
So, like, maybe have that off camera, and not because I'm grossed out by it or anything. I don't care. I think it made, I don't know. It kind of made it a gag again.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping it serious, but if they have a conversation, he's like, you know what? I think I might keep it, and then he gets carted away. I think that's kind of better because we're not there for it, because it is absurd to us still anyway.
Sure.
Because he's got a dong, and so I'm thinking about how that's splitting open the whole time.
Anyway, so What else happens in this episode? Basically, they walk around for a while in this facility. The
Hugo
sets
called
look
it an
fine.
exploding cigar.
The sets look fine.
It did look good. I like the lighting. I liked there was a scene where the shots again. She's talking and then the camera just goes to her hands while she's gesticulating. So there's some really good cinematography involved. Again, we're very character focused, and so that's that theme is the through line.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
Everything else in this episode was pretty weak, though.
I agree.
It was the plot was weak. The villain was weak. It was a non-entity, basically. The doctor just had to figure out, feed it a bomb. It'll be full. Okay.
Yeah. I saw something on Twitter. Doctor Who UK tweeted retweet if you felt bad for the Pating. It's like he got fed. And he can live in the vacuum of space. Yeah. I don't think the person in charge of that Twitter account or the faculty team knows anything. Like, did they watch it?
Did they watch it? Did they just not care?
It was driving me nuts after I saw the conclusion to this episode.
That thing was happy. They made a very concerted effort
literally
to show
gave it
shots of it looking happy in space.
They gave it like a Thanksgiving dinner and sent it on its way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I think that's it for this episode. Honestly, there's not a lot to talk about. It's a very mostly hollow. Some of the character bits are good, but that's mostly based on the performances. Again, Bradley Walsh as Graham is doing a great job.
The boyfriend from Derek was... Did you watch Derek? You didn't like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
The nurse gets a boyfriend at one point. The guy with the very good facial hair.
Yeah.
Who
dies near the beginning.
Was her boyfriend, and I was kind of bummed that he wasn't more featured in this.
Yeah, I think that he was while he was there, he was a stronger presence. I wish
that's why I was, because I don't know, the conversation between him and the doctor, like, it started very strong. I thought as the doctor was kind of like trying to be in charge, and he's very competent.
And then he had to explain to her, like, listen, you are putting yourself above all the other patients on the ship, and she actually did realize, you know what, you're right.
I know, and I thought that was really strong, and I understand why it might sound compelling while you're writing this to kill the person who knows what they're doing, and give it to the rookie or whatever. She was just young or something. She wasn't not the commander, obviously. So I understand why that could be interesting, but not when the doctor's there, it kind of negates that loss, in my opinion. Yep. So keep the strong character, kill if you need to kill somebody, kill a patient or something.
Oh, one of the pilots on board is sick also. That's a plot point that doesn't really go anywhere. She dies, but no one cares because that's the only personality thing she had was she's a pilot. She has pilot's heart. She's dying. She's dead. She has a robot.
Yeah, they try to do these because this was clearly about family, right? And there's a Lilo and Stitch joke I should make here, but I don't remember what they say. Blank is family. Ohana means family. So there you go. The Stitch jokes continue. But yeah, it felt pretty weak. I thought the idea was cool of a neuropilot, but it's not like I've never seen that.
That's just like Jaeger pilots in
Pacific Rim. It was.
And apparently it was just a lens from a glasses that you pop out. And
in defense, that character said he was going to slap together something rudimentary.
I guess.
But I think LASIK we could probably just all get in the future. We can have 7-day gestating man babies. I think we could probably zoop the lenses.
That's it. Let's just talk about the next time trailer.
You over it?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 out of 10. It was
5.
It was perfectly,
it was super average, in the middle.
If I was walking someone through this season, I'm guessing this is the one I'll skip just to be like, does anything important happen? I don't think a single important plot or even though there are some interesting character interactions, nothing of substance that we didn't already know. Graham and Ryan are trying to get along better. Yaz can kick an alien.
Yeah, I don't know if this had anything important.
Anyway, this is actually the last episode until the finale that Chris Chibnall has a writing credit on. He has had a writing credit on every single script so far this season.
I wonder if we're going to see an uptick in quality because while he is good with the characters like we expected him to be, I don't know that the sci-fi aspect is there.
I agree. This episode actually reminded me a lot of another episode he did, 42, when Tenet it's a base under siege episode with a clicking with a ticking clock.
I don't remember.
Going on, and they have 42 minutes. It's a very generic Based Under Siege. I'm not surprised you don't remember it. It's not a memorable episode. It's just it has the trappings of Based Under Siege, but it's not memorable.
I just went through Tenet's run.
I know.
I can't remember.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think this will be similar. It'll be forgotten. It's just kind of, hey, yeah, it's more Doctor Who.
I really think have someone write the sci-fi thing, and then go back through it and find moments where you're like, okay, I want this aspect, and this aspect explored.
Yeah.
Write your version. I'll go back through
and put the character
bits and make them solid.
Yeah.
And then shoot it the way you've been shooting it, because I think it's great, and I think you have a good formula. I don't know if he's the idea guy behind these premises, but
Moffat was often. He would say to a writer, "I have an idea. Execute this idea."
Yeah.
I don't know if it's working the same way now, though.
I don't know. I think we definitely already have stronger characters than we've had in a long, long time. But the problem is that it's also a sci-fi show, so you really need to... So we haven't had a bad episode. We definitely haven't had a bad episode.
I don't think any of them have been terrible. I just think many of them have been strikingly average.
I think the first one is still my favorite.
I like the second one fine.
The second one's pretty good. And then it's slowly... A decline almost sounds bad. It's almost like driving down a road you don't realize is going like down. Because it's not like drastic. It's just I think
it's
maybe
meandering a little bit.
It's treading water a little bit.
That's what I would say. Treading water is a really good word.
Anyway, next time
we'll talk about Demons of Punjab, something like that, which is going to
make curry.
It's going to be a Yaz-centric episode, so hopefully
this will give us...
Going back
on her own timeline is interesting.
Yeah, she's going to Pakistan. She's going to Pakistan in the 40s. I believe her...
47.
Her grandmother's going to be there, and she's going to be interacting with her in some way, and probably some alien shenanigans. So that'll be fun. A little bit of companions in their own timelines. The last time we had that might have been when Rose stopped her dad from getting killed. Remember that episode? And the harvesters came?
Oh, no. Definitely Clara saw her parents, right? She went back in time at some point, didn't she? Am I crazy?
No.
Were those all flashbacks?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, all right.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it. Until next time, Hugo.
I'm Jake. Yeah, I have nothing to add to the...
And this has been, who cares? It was just a Base Under Siege.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good, and I like Base Under Siege episodes.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm going to go rewatch Before the Flood. That was a good one.
I don't remember.
It's the Bootstrap Paradox, Base Under Siege 2-parter.
Okay.
That was one of the better ones. Oh no. Am I going to start pining for Moffat?
No.
Ugh.
No, you're not going to start pining for Moffat.
My series arc is going to be learning to love and miss those we've lost. Moffat. Where is your diner, TARDIS?
Fuck, now I hate him again. Alright, bye.